भारत और ऑस्ट्रेलिया सीरीज के लिए स्पोर्ट्स तक आपके लिए लेकर आया है ग्लेन मैग्रा का एक्सक्लूसिव इंटरव्यू। ग्लेन मैग्रा लेजेंडरी ऑस्ट्रेलियन खिलाड़ी, वो खिलाड़ी जो भारत ऑस्ट्रेलिया सीरीज से पहले बता दिया करते थे कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 से जीत रहा है। लेकिन इस बार मेरे इंटरव्यू में ग्लेन मैग्रा ने सीरीज का रिजल्ट नहीं प्रिडिक्ट किया, क्योंकि वो जानते हैं कि इस बार ये वो भारत नहीं है जो किसी जमाने में हुआ करता था। हालांकि उन्होंने इस इंटरव्यू में माना है कि विराट कोहली के ना होने से ऑस्ट्रेलिया को बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज है। और मैंने उनसे जब पूछा कि विराट को एज बैट्समैन भारत मिस करेगा या एज कप्तान मिस करेगा, उन्होंने कहा दोनों। क्योंकि ना सिर्फ विराट एक अग्रेसिव कप्तान है, बल्कि उस तरह के बल्लेबाज जिसने ऑस्ट्रेलिया में रन भी बनाए हैं। रोहित शर्मा पर मैंने उनसे पूछा कि रोहित एज ओपनर आप कैसे देखते हैं, मयंक अग्रवाल और रोहित की जोड़ी एज ओपनिंग जोड़ी। तो उन्होंने कहा, देखिए मैं बहुत हैरान होता हूं कि रोहित शर्मा टेस्ट मैचों में वो रन नहीं बना पाए। खास तौर से ऑस्ट्रेलियन पिचेस उनको लगता है कि उनको सूट करेंगी, लेकिन चूंकि वहां पर नया गेंद थोड़ा ज्यादा हिलता है। और रोहित की गेम के बारे में उन्होंने बात की है। क्या कहा है आपको पूरा इंटरव्यू सुनना होगा। उन्होंने ये माना है कि अगर रोहित को स्टार्ट अच्छा मिल गया, सीरीज का स्टार्ट अच्छा मिल गया, तो फिर रोहित का हो सकता है कि ये टेस्ट सीरीज इतना सुनहरा हो कि भारत को विराट की कमी उतनी ना खले। फिर बात होती है गेंदबाजों की। उन्होंने माना कि जो सलाइवा बैन है, थूक नहीं लगा सकते हैं, वो इंग्लैंड में डिफरेंट था। इंग्लैंड में गेंदबाजों को नुकसान नहीं हुआ, लेकिन ऑस्ट्रेलिया में शायद नुकसान होगा। गर्मी ज्यादा है, पसीना आएगा ही आएगा। और ये कुकाबुरा का गेंद है जो नए से जैसे ही पुराना होता है इसकी सीम नीचे चली जाती है। आमने सामने उन्होंने दोनों तेज गेंदबाजों को भी रखा है, ऑस्ट्रेलिया वर्सेस इंडिया। हालांकि उनका मानना है कि इंडिया के पास जबरदस्त फास्ट बॉलर हैं, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं एज उन्होंने ऑस्ट्रेलिया को दी है। उनका यह भी कहना है कि विराट के बिना मजा नहीं आएगा। ऑस्ट्रेलियन पब्लिक, ऑस्ट्रेलिया के जो खिलाड़ी थे, वो चाहते थे कि विराट से लड़ाई हो, और विराट के ना होने से भारत को डिसएडवांटेज है। लेकिन एक बड़ी बात जो मैग्रा ने कही वो ये कि अगर भारत ने लिमिटेड ओवर्स क्रिकेट यानी कि वनडे और T20 में अच्छी शुरुआत कर ली, तो फिर आपको टेस्ट मैचों में भी अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस देखने को मिलेगा। तो दोस्तों प्लीज इस इंटरव्यू को जरूर देखिए, और अगर आपको ये इंटरव्यू पसंद आए तो प्लीज इसको शेयर भी कीजिए, स्पोर्ट्स तक को सब्सक्राइब भी कीजिए। साथ ही साथ मैं आपको एक बार फिर बता दूं, ये पूरी की पूरी सीरीज आपको सोनी के चैनल्स पर दिखेगी। सोनी 1 10 HD, और साथ ही साथ सोनी 6 पर भी। तो पूरी सीरीज आपको ना सिर्फ स्पोर्ट्स तक पर सारी तफसील से कवरेज मिलेगी, बल्कि लाइव मैचेस आप सोनी पर देख सकते हैं। तो प्लीज इस इंटरव्यू को देखिए, और अगर आपको पसंद आए तो शेयर कीजिए, और स्पोर्ट्स तक को सब्सक्राइब जरूर कीजिए।
Well, this is supposed to be the marquee series for world cricket after coronavirus, the pandemic, the India-Australia series. Everybody's eagerly awaiting that series. And since India are in Australia, and we'll be joined from Australia by one of the cricketing legends, Glenn MacGrath, who himself did outperform India on so many occasions. And there were a few banters when McGrath was playing in his days. Thanks for joining us, Glenn. And before I begin the interview and talk about this series, let me take you back a couple of decades. Whenever India were to go to Australia, travel to Australia, a couple of months before the series, Glenn McGrath would say India would lose 5-0 or 3-0 or 4-0. And, Steve was said that was mental disintegration. So let me start this way. What is Glenn McGrath saying this time?
Well, it was always easier when I was playing. You have a bit of impact, and I can come out and say 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. But I've been retired now for, it's coming up to 13, 14 years. So I still make a few predictions, but I'm trying not to make too many predictions before the series starts now. Wait and see how it goes. Though I am very confident that Australia will play well, especially here on home soil for them. But India are a great team. Without a doubt, it's going to be an incredible series. So I'm not going to make a prediction just yet. I'll wait till the first match or two, but I'm still very confident Australia will play well.
Well, Glenn, I'm sure the Australians love the battle the hard way, and with the Virat Kohli pulling out of the Test series, I mean, just playing one Test match, does that take out the charm of the series? Does that take out India's chances out of the series?
Well, it's a massive blow for India. There's no doubt about that. He's one of the best batsmen in the world, and the captain. And when he's playing well, it has a positive impact on the team. So, yeah, to have him in the team is brilliant. To have him not playing, I think, is a massive blow and will have an impact in the series. You know, and if Australia goes on to win, they'll say, "Oh, that's because Virat's not there." But It does. I know he's got his, I think, is it his first child coming or soon? So, that's a big moment in your life, and he wants to be there. So I guess I can understand that, but it will be a big blow for the series.
It'll be. And if you look at the batting, Glenn, 2 years ago when India beat Australia in Australia, of course, David Warner wasn't there, Steve Smith wasn't there, but Australia had the a complete fast bowling unit. And
Yep.
the fast bowlers, as we are hearing from Australia, are gearing up for the battle, and they are far more mature now. So would you say that India's fast bowling vis-a-vis Australia's fast bowling, Australia are a notch up ahead?
Well, I think the Australian fast bowling attack, they've been bowling well together. They know their home conditions very well. Pat Cummins is a quality bowler. Josh Hazlewood there, you know what you're going to get day in, day out. Mitchell Starc, a bit of an X factor. And, he can go through teams when he gets it right. You've got James Pattinson. And then obviously Nathan Lyon in the spin department. But, the four fast bowlers I mentioned, they offer some good pace, variety, left-hander in Mitchell Starc, which is always a bonus. So I think the Indian batsmen they need to bat well against those guys. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough in Australian conditions. But I think India's fast bowling attack still looks very good. So it's going to be battle of the quicks, and whichever team handles the pace bowling the better, I think will definitely have an edge.
And the saliva ban, Glenn, this is the first Australian series being played post coronavirus without the saliva ban. It was okay when they were playing with the Duke's ball in England, but the Kookaburra ball and the kind of heat that you will have in Australia, how much of an impact would that be?
Well, yeah, we'll wait and see. It's just second nature. It's natural just to want to shine the ball without even thinking about it. So it's something the bowlers and the fieldsmen will have to really watch if that's the case. So, and because it's quite warm here, even today's 39 degrees Celsius outside, which is very hot for this time of the year. So you're just going to sweat anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see, firstly, if the bowlers can not shine the ball by putting a little bit of saliva on, and how they're going to monitor that. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting for both teams, really.
And the new ball, as always, will be the key in Australia, how you bowl and how you handle the first 15 overs.
No, exactly right. And, when the ball's hard, the seam's hard, there's a bit of swing in the air, bit of bounce and carry. That's when you've got to make the most of it, and you've got to really use that. Pat Cummins has bowled incredibly well in that time. I mentioned Josh Hazlewood, who gets it in that right area. Mitchell Starc's the one with that new ball. If the ball is swinging and he's got it under control, he can be a real handful, a real danger. But then you look at the Indian bowling attack. Mohammad Shami is just a quality bowler, very intelligent bowler, can move the ball both ways, very dangerous with that new ball. Jasprit Bumrah, I'm a huge fan of him and the way he goes about his business. He's to me one of the best bowlers in the world. And then you've got a couple of young guys in Sony and Siraj, and see how much they play. Ishant Sharma, there's talk that he'll be ready for the first test, and he brings so much experience as well. And obviously Umesh Yadav, who's got some raw pace. So that new ball for both sides is going to be the key. But you look at the batting lineup, Dave Warner's back in there now for the Australians. And also, you look back when the Indians were here last time, Cheteshwar Pujara was such a big player in that series. I think those guys will definitely have to step up again.
Again, Glenn, speaking about Pujara and the likes, who've not played in the IPL, and he hasn't played any cricket, any representative cricket for the last 7-8 months. You go into a test series just on the basis of a few net sessions. How difficult would that be for somebody like a Pujara and the others?
Well, I think it's very difficult for a cricketer to do that, whether you're a batsman or a bowler. You want to have time in the middle under the belt to get used to it. The ball coming onto the bat, feel it, hitting those areas. And cricket's very much a confident sport, and you want to get out there and play to build your confidence. To come from, not playing for 7 months, few net sessions, 1 or 2 games leading into the tour, it takes a quality player to be at the top of his game come that first Test match. So it's going to be tough for those guys, especially someone like Cheteshwar Pujara, who likes to spend a lot of time at the crease. But the thing on his side, he'll remember the last series he had here, where he batted a lot of time out in the middle, scored a lot of runs. Took the shine off that new ball plenty of time, and was a big player in that series. So he'll have that in the back of his mind. He'll be looking forward to come here again, but he'll need to get those first few matches, the practice matches for him, will be very, very important.
Glenn, looking at the Indian batting order, if Rohit Sharma does recover in time for the Test matches, which they are saying he will, Rohit Sharma, Mayank Agarwal as an opening pair. If you were a fast bowler, how would you look at the two of them?
Yeah, well, they're quality players. There's no doubt about that. And I think with Rohit Sharma, what he's done in the shorter version of the game, the one-day game, he scored three, I think, was it 3 double hundreds or more, which is absolutely incredible. His stats for the one-day game are incredible, but for Test cricket, not quite the same. And for a batsman of his caliber, I've always expected a little bit more, and I think he should do very well at Test level. So I'll be watching to see how he goes. But they've got a quality batting lineup, as you mentioned. We've got, we said before, Pujara, Virat Kohli, Rahane. There's they bat a fair way down, and the Australian bowlers will have to be on their game.
Then Rohit Sharma, if you were a fast bowler, what would you want him to do for you to do well, and what would you want him not to do?
Well, it's about depends where he's bats in the innings. He's come in, open the innings. He's come down.
Yeah, I think he's going to open the innings.
5 or 6, but I think opening is his spot. He does that in the short version of the game and does it so well. And to get him out there against that new ball, and I know the red ball is different. It's a different mindset with the way you go out and play your game. So he just has to find his natural rhythm. Just go out there and just play it as he sees it. For a bowler, he's a big wicket. The opening bowlers, they want to dismiss the opening batsman, or one of them at least, as early as possible, and just get the ball up there, get them feeling for it outside off stump, a little bit fuller length. You've got a lot more slips, and you can bowl with a little bit more aggressive fields and build a little bit of pressure. And so cut down his scoring. And I think he's the type of player that likes to score, but again, doesn't have the same confidence playing Test level that he does with playing one-day cricket. He hasn't achieved the same at Test cricket. So for him, it's important that he gets off to a very good start in this series. And if he does that, he could be a big impact player.
Well, it does happen. If you got the rhythm earlier on in the series, you tend to do well in Australia. But Glenn, again, about Virat. Would India miss Virat, the batsman, more, or would they miss him as a captain? A captain or a batsman? What was it is that India is going to miss more?
Well, probably both. We've spoken about that. He is a class batsman. There's no doubt about that. And the way he goes about it, and once he gets set, he can go on and score some big runs. But I think it's more than that. He's a captain. It's his attitude, and just he's quite aggressive, and he's a lot of energy, and he's always here and there, and he's getting around. He's in the batsmen's faces. He's talking to his bowlers. So I think that impact that he has when he's confident, when he's doing well, has a massive positive effect on the whole team. And yeah, there's not too many like him in world cricket, let alone within the Indian team. So I think as a captain, as a personality, just the way he holds himself, and that will be missed. But definitely his runs will be missed as well. But him as a captain, that'll be a big blow too. Especially.
Yes, and Glenn, speaking about the series, as an Australian cricketer, ex-Australian cricketer, broadcaster, a cricket fan, would you have rather wanted Virat, the series to have been realigned so as to ensure that Virat plays the Test matches, and if at all he were to miss, he misses the white ball cricket? There were suggestions coming out of Australia that the series could have been rearranged in a manner.
Yeah, no, you're not going to rearrange a series for one player, unfortunately, even the caliber of Virat. But yeah, if to play a series, you want all your best players playing. without a doubt. When India were here last time, Australia were without David Warner and Steve Smith, their two best players. But still, that doesn't take anything away from India winning in Australia for the first time. Was a big achievement for them. So, you want your top players playing. If you win the series without the top players in the other team, you still enjoy it, but you think, oh, I would have liked to have won with the likes of Smith and Warner playing, with the likes of Kohli playing. I think it means that little bit more.
Exactly. The series deserved him to play. Glenn, final question. Again, going back to my first question. I know you're not going to predict, but if you could look at your wish list for the T20s, the one-days and the test matches, what would that be? You've never been wrong, by the way.
No, I'm looking forward to just some good quality cricket. There's no doubt about that, with COVID and the impact that's had in around the world, let alone in Australia and India. Just to see how the crowd's going to come back. The atmosphere is going to be a lot different if we don't have capacity crowds. There's been talk that we'll have 50% crowds, what have you. But I just hope it's a good, tight one-day T20 series that leads into the Test series. We've got a day-nighter, the first one in Australia for India, which is going to be interesting. As India have played well in Melbourne. You look at the SCG, Australia haven't lost, they've lost one Test match in the last 12 in Sydney. They play well there. And then the Gabba up in Brisbane, I was surprised to see.
Which is the most difficult for India.
Gabba, which is a test ground that Australia hasn't lost at for a long, long time. So, India's going to be up against it. But if we can have a really good, tight one-day T20 series, I think that'll set up the Test series.
Well, unfortunately, we won't be able to travel, the media, that is, Glenn, to Australia. But I'll be tuned in to Sony channels, the Sony 1, the Sony HD, and the Sony 6 channels. And I'm sure we'd be getting to hear a lot from Glenn MacGrath on what is supposed to be the marquee cricket series around the world. Thanks so much, Glenn, for taking time out and speaking to us.
No worries. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to coming over to India to work with Sony. It will be different for me to be not in Australia with the Australian summer here, but it should
You'll have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to be in the studios.
Nice and early.
But Glenn, half Indian, because you worked so much in India with the MRS Pace Academy. Of course, India is your second home as well.
Yep, exactly right. So
thank you so much.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Glenn. Thanks for joining us. And as Glenn just told you, so you will be getting to see him, to listen to his commentary from the Mumbai studios, and Sony will be telecasting live the 3 formats of the series. Thanks for watching.